You're listening to the Youth Critic podcast on KHZ Network. Find us on Facebook at Decibel UNG Radio and find us on Twitter at Decibel UNG. If you like this episode, please leave a like and comment on our iTunes page at KHZ Network. And now for the podcast.
What's the law on what you can and cannot say on a billboard? I assume you can't say nothing defamatory and you can't say fuck, piss, or cunt. That right?
Or anus?
I think I'll be all right then.
I guess you're Angela Hayes' mother.
That's right. I'm Angela Hayes' mother.
So, Mildred Hayes, why did you put up these billboards?
My daughter Angela was murdered 7 months ago. It seems to me the police department is too busy torturing black folks to solve actual crime.
The hell is this?
Dixon, I'm in the middle of my goddamn Easter dinner. Sorry, kids.
I know, Chief, but I think we got kind of a problem.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Youth Critic podcast. I'm your host, Kel Smith. Joining me today is Andy Comer.
How's it going? It's been a while.
It has been way too long. Way too long. Thanks, Andy, for coming back. Today, everyone, we're going to be talking about Martin McDonagh's new movie, Three Billboards from Ebbing, Missouri. So far, the movie that everyone thought was going to be an Oscar contender is kind of a mixed bag. Personally, I kind of like the movie. Andy, what did you think of the movie?
It's good. I'm pretty sure I gave it 3 out of 5 or 6 out of 10, whatever. So it's good. It's just not as good as I was hoping because I love In Bruges and Seven Psychopaths. In Bruges is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love watching that movie. It's so entertaining. And so this is just a big step down for me. It has good story, good action, or good story, good acting, and, good, some solid characters, but some really off characters that just make things awkward. And, some of the story choices are kind of odd, but it's good. It's just not as good as I was hoping for. I need to see it again just so that under the lens of knowing what to expect rather than hoping for something so much better. But yeah,
because here's my thing with Three Billboards, and I can see why some people really like the movie, and I can see why people don't love the movie. I still don't see why this is an Oscar contender still. And I think as of the Golden Globe nominations, I think only Frances McDormand is the only person nominated in this movie. I might be wrong, but last I checked, I know Frances McDormand got Best Actress. So, but other than that, I don't know where, in the Atlanta Film Critics Film Critic Circle, I think it was number 9. It was on the top 10 list for best movie. So I don't know exactly where the love for it is, but
it's definitely got to be.
It's
definitely got to be in her performance. Because there's something about her performance. I don't know that people are really responding. I don't know. Maybe it's because she's a strong woman that is taking care of what she thinks she needs to be taken care of, even though in a couple of cases she's doing the absolute wrong thing, but she's in pain, and that's her the justification behind it, that she's dealing with a lot of shit that ideally no one deals with ever, but she has to, so she's dealing with it in any way she can, and people are rooting for her for that. And she is a strong female character, so that's a really big positive, and that's probably why a lot of love is going towards this film.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's it's a story about someone overcoming grief in a very weird and non-conventional way, which is, I mean, the story is about Frances McDormand's character, Mildred. She's trying to solve her daughter's case, but the case has been dormant because there's no clear way to solve the mystery. So it just kind of it's just getting cold. By a fire in the case, she makes these 3 billboards saying, she was raped while driving. And then the second one was she
died she was raped and then she died while on fire or while she was burning or whatever.
Yeah, it was a gruesome death. And as far as the movie's concerned, Frances McDormand is giving a really good performance. Woody Harrelson and Sam Rockwell give really good performances, and it is really the story of these 3 characters kind of dealing with their own grief stuff. Obviously Frances McDormand, she's dealing with the death of her daughter. Sam Rockwell's kind of dealing with the death of, basically not really the death of his father, but the outcome of the death of his father. And then you have Woody Harrelson, who has been diagnosed with terminal cancer. So everyone's kind of dealing with their own problems. And the issue is, and the conflict of the story is, except for Woody Harrelson's character, no one really gives a shit about each other's conflicts that's going on, their internal conflicts or things that are happening in their own personal lives. And that's where the conflict of the story is. Everything else is either, this done. It's like the comedic way of, seeing something, done. Like the characters are doing something, taking their anger out in a very comedic way or in a very dramatic way. And that's essentially really the whole movie until it just finally ends. Because the movie just kind of keeps going and going. We get the promise of there's maybe there might have been we might have gotten a suspect, but then things happen with that. So the movie just kind of goes on and meanders. So, and I'm going to be upfront. This is my first Martin McDonagh joint. So I don't know exactly if this is Martin McDonagh's style particularly, but
there are aspects with the darkness and the humor elements of the film for sure. But with In Bruges and Seven Psychopaths, they have segments where it's purely comedy driven, but then there's also really dark tones of drama that are really humanizing and really good at humanizing the characters and putting them in really dark places that you just really feel for them. So some of that's real, but this one had less of the comedy that he has and then more of the serious drama, which isn't a bad thing. I don't want to make it sound like that's a bad thing. It's just not what I was expecting, and I don't think that some of the stuff worked. So that's why it didn't work for me.
Yeah, and the thing too is that the whole weirdness of it is not that explored to its full extent anyway. It's not you would think there would be more of this drive of, isn't this weird that this woman is putting up these billboards, but a lot of it kind of gets resigned anyway, because only just a handful of people come up to her and and are against, and we are told by the cops that they're against her, or the town's against. We're told, and then we're told by the pastor of a church that she's, that no one really likes her signs. So, so it's interesting, and also there's not a really common thing that Martin McDonagh sticks to. You think this is going to be a movie about police state and why, and kind of try, and what is what's this whole thing about, what's she trying to do. I'm trying to I'm trying to work with words in my head, but it's essentially you're wondering like, is the cops going to be the bad people that are trying to keep these signs out so they can flush this away, or it's just like the story goes in this place and then it goes to this place and it all does circle back to a really interesting idea, but in the end there's nothing to gravitate towards. And I've been following this movie for like 2 months, wondering in this movie's life on Twitter and social media has been always, this movie is controversial and it's this and that. But even as I was watching this movie, I was like, I don't get it. I don't get where this argument comes from. I don't get where this is coming from. So as a film, I do like it. I just don't understand, like what you said, I don't understand where the hype is coming from. I just don't get, that's where I stand on Three Billboards, is I just don't understand where this is coming from.
I think it's just because of her performance mostly. Even
it
though
is a good performance.
Yeah. But everybody's like, you root for her and everything, and then some people are talking about how she's like this perfect like character, blah 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 stuff. But honestly, she toes the line of being an absolute like a
bitch.
Yeah, she does toe the line for like with doing that, because like sometimes things just don't work out. Sometimes some cases don't have any evidence. They've done literally all they can. Like, it's pure chance that what happens in this film happens, that it's a possibility that happens, and it does happen in real life. But like the way that she's going about it, pinning it on him and all this stuff while he's already suffering, and she knows that he's already suffering and dying. So like, why?
It's a little petty.
But but then it's like, you also feel for her because she's going through something that no one should go through either. It's just that she's just feeling guilty about her last interaction with her daughter before she died, and she's trying to do anything she can to make something happen, even though there's no logic behind it. And that's what bothers me about it. But some people are just like ignoring that and saying like, no, she's right, like they should be doing more. It's like, they literally, in the movie, he explains like there is nothing, like he wishes, and I really do believe that he is a good man that like wishes that he could find the guy, but like he can't just pin it on somebody that didn't do it just to make her feel better. And it's just a shitty situation for so many characters that are just thrown together, and they're doing the best that they can. And it's just, maybe that's why everyone, because it feels like a real possible situation. And like the characters, most of the characters are, believable, and like you have them in your life. So that this is a possibility.
Right. Yeah. And I think, and I kind of agree, I agree with it. Like, that's really the underlining of the story, is sometimes there is no unanswered, there's no unanswered, well, there's not always going to be answered questions in this story. Like I said, it really is about grief, and it's about all this, the hell we go through in combating grief. All three of these characters are battling something. It's, and these characters are kind of assholes to each other, particularly Sam Rockwell's character and Frances McDormand's character. But even then, at the end, but going into spoilers for a movie that's been out for 3 weeks, they have reached an end of an arc together, to an understanding of, now we have to go and do something together. We now have to confront our anger, and there's no way to do it. There's no other way of confronting our anger and grief other than this one thing. And that's where the movie becomes interesting, and then it quits.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, this is a really interesting movie, and I really do like it. Like, I think this is you said a 3 out of 5 or 6 out of 10. I would go like just a little hair above, and make it like like 6.5 out of 10. But yeah, I really did enjoy this movie quite a bit, and it's an odd, peculiar movie, but I really like it, and I can't wait to watch more Martin McDonagh movies. I feel terrible for not watching In Bruges or Seven Psychopaths before this movie.
Yeah. Now that we're talking about it and stuff, I kind of want to watch In Bruges tonight. It always makes me happy, and I love talking about it and like making other people watch it. It's so good.
Yeah. So, the Golden Globes are out for this movie, or they're out, and for this movie, I think the last time I checked, it's only Frances McDormand. I'm checking one more time, and I think Frances McDormand's the only person that gets nominated in this movie. Oh, no, the movie did get a Best Picture in the drama category for this movie and for a Golden Globe. But as of this recording, we don't know anything about Oscars or any of that, stuff. So, what do you think about the Oscar chances for this movie? I know we both are kind of like, it's odd that this is Oscar nominated, but
what are the Golden Globe nominations for like screenplay and such?
I must be wrong. Checking over again, I missed because it did get not only, Best Picture, Best Actress for Golden Globe nominations, but also secured a Best Screenplay nomination and a Best Supporting Actor nomination from Sam Rockwell. To answer your question, the screenplay nominations for the Golden Globes are The Shape of Water, Lady Bird, The Post, Molly's Game, and Three Billboards.
If Shape of Water is as good as I'm hearing, I feel like that's going to win screenplay, but this will be nominated Oscar-wise. I don't think this is going to win anything besides maybe actress for her. I don't think Rockwell should get supporting for this. I love Sam Rockwell. He should have Oscars for other performances in his past, but this isn't. I don't think that this is one of them. But yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, and to comment on, I think it really is as fantastic as everyone says it is. I really enjoy it, and that movie has the most Golden Globe nominations as anyone right now. So, yeah, I think it. Also, I kind of do find, as I was looking at the best performance by an actor in a supporting role, I kind of find it funny that Christopher Plummer, who just shot his role for All the Money in the World last month, has a Golden Globe nomination for his performance, and Ridley Scott's All the Money in the World.
Yeah,
that's pretty amusing.
It's pretty crazy.
That is, especially since he was not in the movie 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, I know. That's the craziest thing is that they already shot it and shown it to people, and they're like, "Yep, he's nominated." It's like, what?
Yeah, I don't know if it got screened for Atlanta press before any of the film critic circles got their ballots in, but I can say the Atlanta screening is next week, so we'll see how that goes.
Good luck with it.
Good luck, and good luck to the movie that had to reshoot a kind of shoehorn in a role in a month before it comes out.
It's crazy that happened. The idea that they would even consider it, let alone do it, is insane to me.
That Ridley Scott man, he's 80 years old, and he's just, he did a thing that even directors our age would be told that he did something that no director would ever think of doing. They would just be like, we'll bite the bullet. We'll either we'll reshoot it and then move the release date, or we'll just bite the bullet and release it on the release date. So, yeah, that's insanity to me. Also, Golden Globes, you kind of do suck because you didn't nominate anything for Logan, a movie that's like screaming to win an Oscar
It's
or a Golden
absolutely
Globe.
it's absolutely ridiculous that was not nominated for anything.
I know. I would even be like, at least nominate Hugh for Best Actor. I mean, again, but then again, I mean, every Oscar race, I mean, it always feels like the Oscar race just cannibalizes each other.
Yeah.
So, but hey, it was a good movie, and Hugh Jackman is still nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Performance by an Actor in a Musical or Comedy in The Greatest Showman. So,
Yeah, which I hear is pretty amazing. So we'll see. Yeah, like I hate how that close they get all these movies and do limited releases just so that they get like, can be put in the Oscar races for this year and such. But like, why not just like spread them out a bit so that people can actually see them? Like, it just annoys me that they wait until the end, like literally the last month to just like stockpile everything. So literally nobody, no, like actual real people can go see that many movies in this short amount of time to see everything. And it's
I
just
know, I know. In the next like 4 to 5 weeks, I have to watch before I make my top 10: Phantom Thread, The Post, The Darkest Hour, there was Call Me by Your Name, and there was one more, but I think that might have also been shoved out of as well. But anyway, I have like 5 other movies I have to watch on top of, I'm going to watch Star Wars, Jumanji, and The Greatest Showman. And I mean, it's just a crazy, absolutely insanity. It's all, every Oscar season is insanity.
Yeah.
And
throw on top of it that like it's another Star Wars movie coming out where like all of the theaters are going to be like super busy, lines everywhere specifically for that, let alone the other big movies coming out. And then all the people try to see Oscar movies. It's just, it's a cluster. It's almost like they're planning on making all the money back that they were expecting to make throughout the whole year in 1 month.
I know. It's like, why not, and look, I'm happy to Get Out, it did as well as it did, and it's going to be, this huge Oscar contender. But why don't we look for more movies all year long, all good movies? Because, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, particularly this year, we had nothing but great movies all, like every month I think I gave at least one movie an A. So, or a high rating. So I feel like, why don't we pick some from something that came out other than Get Out, or other than just one movie, other that came out in June or in August. I mean, Logan Lucky got nothing, and that should have been like an easy Oscar nomination for Daniel Craig. And this is just me venting. I know we're sidetracking a bit, but this is just going to me venting because I just look at this and I'm like, yeah, Golden Globes. I don't care. I look at this and I'm like, whatever y'all want to do.
And that's what they're gonna do because they're like, we have to put this movie in the best position to make money. And it's like, okay, then why didn't you have the Disaster Artist go completely nationwide the week before Star Wars so that people that wanted to see it could see it before going to see Star Wars?
And to be honest, it's still not completely nationwide yet.
Exactly. It's so stupid, especially with how much money it made opening weekend to reduce the number of like their next week's like theater count is ridiculous to me.
Yeah, and I know this is a much more smaller film than the Disaster Artist, but Call Me by Your Name did extremely well over Thanksgiving weekend, and in Atlanta for at least another week or two.
Yeah, it's insane.
So yeah, Yeah, even The Shape of Water, it's like I'm sure that movie cost like at least $20 to $30 million, and still, like we're gonna give it this little release, and then we're gonna just build it up, even though Star Wars is gonna take over everything for the next 3 or 4 months. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of just frustrating. But yeah, as far as Three Billboards, I recommend it. I mean, I know it's it's looking to be a big Oscar contender, but I don't get it. I don't get it, and I think other movies will break out. Like I think once The Post comes out, it'll pretty much take out. It'll be a kind of it'll emerge more of as a dark horse, and then Call Me by Your Name and Lady Bird and Get Out are pretty much the front runners at this time. As I'm kind of reading the room of at this current moment. What do you think about the award season as of yet?
I don't know. There's still a bunch I haven't seen that I need to, so we'll see if I can get to it by the end of January. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I saw a Ghost Story today. It was okay. I wish that, because I originally heard a bunch of that, but like hadn't gotten anything. I'm like, that doesn't deserve the praise that was getting either. But yeah, there's a bunch of like stuff that like people on Twitter, like freaking out about, or like, talk, like there's a lot of buzz, like a lot of people talking about it, not like saying that it's like one of the best movies of the year, but like, positively talking about it. And then you see it and you're like, why is this getting traction at all? But whatever.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, we're just now in Georgia getting the good, really decent stuff that came out in October and November. So there's a few films I've seen that I think are worthy. Like I think The Shape of Water, like I said earlier, The Shape of Water is worthy of it. And I was actually pretty lucky to see that one, since I know I'm not going to be able to see that movie till the end of this month. So yeah, I'm really pleased. I'm kind of pleased, but then you're right. There are some that have come out lately. As far as A Ghost Story is concerned, I actually really like that movie. So, but maybe I should see it again, because the more people that have seen that movie, the more it's been, like, it was just okay. That movie, so maybe that should be one on the list of rewatch.
Yeah.
So with that said, I think we're done for this little show about Three Billboards and the current Golden Globe situation, or kind of the gist of award season as of late. So, Annie, do you have any more thoughts on Three Billboards, or
if it's definitely a movie worth watching, it like has like really good dialogue sprinkled throughout, some interesting characters, and like, it shows that like how different people deal with their emotions or don't deal with their emotions in Rockwell's case. But it's just a lot, like a fair amount of stuff going on. It just, didn't hit me the way that I wanted to based on his other works. And, the stuff that it did try to do, I feel like it fell kind of short and, hitting all the right notes for explaining what it wanted to.
Okay. Yeah, same here. I think it's worth watching. I just think there's a few other films that are currently out that are worth watching. And yeah, I see why people like it, but then I look back on it, and there are a couple scenes where I'm like, okay, I can see where some people might have complaints, but other than that, I think it's a fine, solid movie.
Yeah.
So with that, Andy, do you know where can the good people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at the Talking Can. They can letterbox me at the Talking Can as well. Come at me with your movie thoughts, and we can talk about things. As long as you're not praising Justice League, I think we'll get along.
Oh God. Oh, I'm still trying to forget that movie existed.
It's impossible.
Oh God, it's scarred.
Yeah.
The boringness has scarred me.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. So you can find me on Twitter at MovieKale, and you can also follow me at the Youth Critic, and then you can also follow podcast that distributes this the channel that distributes this podcast at KHC Network. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll be back in the next day or two with The Disaster Artist and The Shape of Water. Thanks everyone, and we'll be back with you in very shortly.
What line? What line?
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Okay.
Action.
What is line?
Take 13. Action.
I did not hit her. Okay. Line.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark. Take 67. Action.
I hit her.
No. Do you want to change the line?
You're doing great, man. We'll get there.